Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Aradhna and today I'm here with a very special video because the title of this video is selected by none other than you people. Because a few days ago I posted a poll on my community tab that what should be the topic of next video, and majority of people have said that they want a video on how to write answers in MA and BA. And I think that makes sense because most of the times our professors don't really tell us specifically how we should structure our answer to get good marks. They just get on with their syllabus and yeah, that's all for them. So yeah, I'm here with the video. Today I'm going to share my experience of writing answers in BA and MA, and my college was affiliated to the University of Lucknow. So if you are from the University of Lucknow, then it would be really helpful for you. And even if you don't belong to the University of Lucknow, then also you can check out this video. I think you will find it helpful. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into today's video. But before that, if you haven't subscribed my channel, then please do. मतलब तुम लोग वीडियो देख लेते हो लेकिन सब्सक्राइब नहीं करते हो, ये रहा उसका proof. Just kidding, but please do subscribe if you haven't already. And now let's get into today's video. First things first, let me make this very clear that I am not a big authority and I am no expert in writing answers. This is wholly and solely based on my experience in my BA and MA. And BA I have done in English, History and Psychology, and I have done my MA in English Literature. So I think मेरे नंबर ठीक ही रहे थे, तो मैं वही experience पर share करना चाहती हूँ, and that's why I am here with this video. So now that I have made everything clear, I think we should get on with the videos. So there are no hard and fast rule for writing an answer, but if you are a beginner and you have just entered your BA and graduation, then it could be a little bit tricky for you to understand that how you need to write to get good marks, and professors don't really talk about writing answer and everything. I remember we had only one professor in my graduation who taught us how to write a good answer and what are the key things that you need to understand, and basically I'm going to talk about those things and also a few things that I have added on to my style of writing an answer. So I hope you will find it useful. So the first tip that I'm going to give you today is that you need to write an introduction to your answer, no matter how big or how small a question is. So basically there are two types of question, actually three types of. First is multiple choice, and second is a short note, and a third is a long question. Okay, so multiple choice means there is nothing to say. Second thing is if it's a short question, that means it's for 2 marks or say 3 marks, then you have to write 1.5 page. Okay, that's the general idea of it. So you need to write at least 2 to 3 lines for your introduction. Okay, so that is the most important thing. For example, if you are going to talk about tragedy, say it says a tragedy, you have to write a short note for tragedy, then you have to write the origin of the word tragedy and how it came into use, and then how people started writing tragedy, and then Shakespeare came in, all of those things. So this is the thing, you have to first introduce the term to the professor. See, while writing an answer, imagine that your professor does not know a thing about the said topic. Okay, and now you have to explain it to them. How will you do that? You have to first introduce the topic to that person. Okay, so that is the most important thing to keep in mind. You have to write an introduction. Similarly, if you have to write a long answer, then you can just broaden the length of the introduction. It could be 5 lines or 4 lines or 7 lines, whatever you think is applicable. I know it's a very basic tip. I mean, you will say, hey, why are you saying this? But I have seen a lot of people जो इंट्रोडक्शन लिखते ही नहीं है, सीधे बेसिक मेन बॉडी पे आ जाते हैं. इट्स नॉट अ वेरी गुड वे. First of all, it creates a very bad impression on the examiner. Second of all, it is a very bad way to begin an answer. So you have to write an introduction no matter how long or how short an answer is. So that's why I recommend you to write an introduction on each and every topic in your syllabus, because no matter what the question is, an introduction is always going to come in handy. You can also use it to make your answers a little bit more lengthy and all that. So yeah, an introduction is a very important part of an answer. Number 2, quotations. Now quotations are one of the mandatory things if you are writing particularly in English. It's applicable for every subject. I mean, I used to quote in psychology as well. I used to quote in history as well. But English literature is also one of those subjects where you have to quote massively. The more you quote, the more answers you get. This is a very simple formula that my professor told me. So there is a very good psychology behind writing quotations in your exam copy. It's that when you quote something, it creates a kind of impression that you have read thoroughly the novels or the dramas or the poems or anything. If you are writing the quote of a critic, then it means that you have thoroughly read about not about the particular discourse, the subject or poem, but you have also read things which other people have said. Okay, so that kind of creates that you have completely prepared this. Even if you have written a short answer, or you have not written like 4 or 5 pages in a long answer, but if you have quoted 2-3 quotes, that is going to make up for it. Okay, so yeah, don't underestimate the power of quotations in your answer copy. It's going to fetch you so many extra marks. Now another thing that I need to warn you about is that when you are quoting, do not quote incorrectly. That's something which is going to lose so many of your marks. You cannot even imagine. I mean, quoting incorrectly means कि जानबूझ के एग्जामिनर को वो चीज दिखाई जो चीज गलत है. Okay, examiner is not going to read each and every line, but if you're quoting something, then he's gonna read that. So don't quote incorrectly. So the most simple way to memorize these quotations is to practice it by writing, because when you write it 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, it is going to get memorized. And you can also do that thing that you write it on a piece of paper and stick it in your wall, and every time you come and go, you just don't memorize it, don't mug it up. Just come and read once, and then after a few minutes come and read once. You will just get the hang of it. Okay, so the third tip that I'm going to give is kind of a warning. You people should not draw margins on both sides of the copy. That's idiotic. Okay, this is just the most foolish thing you can do. And I mean, rather than giving you extra marks, the examiner is going to cut your marks. This is the most foolish thing you can do. I mean, the examiner is way smarter than you, that he knows or she knows that you have drawn these lines just to make your answer seem a little bit lengthy, but it's not gonna happen, because whatever you have written, that matters the most. It's not going to fetch you good marks. Only filling up the space does not mean that you have written something which is valuable or the content is valuable. No, that's not. And if you think that just writing a lengthy answer will fetch you marks, then you need to meet a lot of students who write a lot of lengthy answers, but they don't really get marks. So don't live in this illusion that writing a lengthy answer is going to fetch you marks. It's not gonna. Your content has to be good to get you good marks, because the examiner kind of knows it's the copy of a good student or a bad student. I mean, they have a lot of experience, so you cannot just make them fool them. You have to just write what is valuable, what has been asked. Don't write shit. So one thing very important that I forgot to tell is that what if you haven't read the novels and the poems and everything, but you still want to quote all of this? Because novel to puri padhi nahi hai, drama pura padha nahi hai, poem bhi puri padhi nahi hai, because there are a lot of lengthy poems in your BA and MA. So how are you going to quote all of these? So a very simple trick is that you need to go on Google and type that topic of your poem or novel, whatever, plus Goodreads. Okay, so with Goodreads you will get all the important quotations according to the genres of that particular novel, drama or poem or whatever. Okay, so this is a very simple trick that I used to follow, and that I still follow this when I have to write some paper or anything. So yeah, I think this is one thing you people need to know, and most of the people don't know that, and I also kind of like came to know about this very later in life. But yeah, I would say you people need to use this trick to get the best of the quotations. And there are a lot of sites also where you can find these quotations, but Goodreads is a very important thing. But Goodreads is like very good, and I used to use that. Now the fourth and probably the last tip is that you need to prepare those answers in advance. I mean, don't think about just reading it and then you will just write it in the first go in your examination center. No. And I used to make one answer for every topic in a unit. For example, if I have one unit drama or Shakespeare's dramas, and it has Hamlet and Othello, Macbeth and King Lear, then I am going to make 4 separate answers for every question and one introduction. That's mandatory, and I'm going to talk about that introduction. I'm going to write that introduction in almost every topic I get of that topic. Okay, for example, if I have to write about the idealism of Hamlet, or write a critical appreciation of Hamlet or anything, I am going to use the same introduction for both the answers. But you can also change a bit about it, according to the question. You don't have to prepare separate introduction for every answer, but you can do that as well. Write one big answer like for 6 to 7 pages, and it should cover the whole of the play. Okay, you don't have to write like 4 questions on Hamlet, 4 on King Lear, 4 Othello, 4 Macbeth. I mean, this is gonna take so much of time. First of all, just get to know about that particular piece of work, and then start writing about it from a lot of different sources which are available on the internet. And and use valuable sources which are good. Don't write about anything which you feel might not be correct or anything. So yeah, make one big answer and separate it when you have to write about a particular topic. So that is going to save a lot of your time. Fifth and definitely the last tip I'm going to give you today is that if you have to make prepare short notes, then you don't need to prepare short notes separately. I used to do that for history in my BA, but that was for only history. For English, I never made separate short notes. So write one big answer. Okay, that should also cover your short notes. And if you have to make, just make 3-4 short notes. Depending on what type of short notes have been asked in the previous years. Okay, so previous year questions are very important. Basically, in BA and MA, they ask those same questions again and again if the syllabus has not been changed in a while. So yeah, I think that is the most important thing. You have to just fixate on some particular topics. They ask mostly the same topics, alternate years. So you have to just study previous year papers very carefully to get to know what are they going to ask in question papers. And don't do the mistake of preparing just 2 topics. If you have 4 topics and you're just preparing 2 topics, then that's like the most very kind of risky thing. I did that once. I prepared just 2 topics in one of the units, but they didn't ask those 2 topics. They asked the topics that I hadn't prepared, and that was a terrible time. So yeah, I would not suggest you to do that. Just at least prepare 3 topics. Okay, leave 1 topic if you have to. But if it's not necessary, then you have to just read everything, because this is something which I learned in my MA, that you have to read everything in literature, because this is going to come in handy when you are preparing for PGT or TGT or UGC net or anything, for any paper. And basically for literature, for the sake of literature, just read everything. I mean, everything is just beautiful in literature. You have to just get in that depth of it and just enjoy it to enjoy it. Okay, so I think, yeah, that should be it for today, and I am going to meet you in the next video. I think that video will probably be the 3rd chapter of William J. Long, Anglo-Norman Age. So yeah, I will meet you in the next video, and tab tak ke liye, if you haven't subscribed my channel, please do. So yeah, bye bye for now. I'll meet you in the next video.